If I had to give you one movie scene that explains the astrology of August, it's that moment in Bridesmaids when everything starts unraveling. You know how Annie is trying so hard to keep it together? She's trying to be the good friend, she's trying to act normal, she is trying not to show how insecure she actually feels. She is trying not to react to everything happening around her, but that's a problem. She's actually dealing with what she is feeling, but she is swallowing it. And then eventually we get to the point where the feelings are driving the car. And that's August, my friends. Welcome back to the Astro Tea, my friends. My name is Island Sky. If you're here for the first time, welcome. I also wanted to say welcome to everyone who is listening from Japan. I am seeing the downloads coming in from Japan. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you for listening. I am so honored that you are here and that you are listening to this podcast. And if you're new, the way that you can basically support this show, if you'd like to hang out, is by subscribing to my podcast. There is also some links below if you're interested in readings. My readings are open. I have space to take on people. So the links are in the description box below. And lastly, you can also follow me on Instagram or TikTok, where I give you specific predictions for the month or for the next 3 months, or some kind of information, astrology related, spirituality related. And you can follow me there, that I only give that information on those platforms. So follow me at Island Aura Sky. Both the same handles are the same for TikTok and for Instagram. Let's dive into this month's astrology. We are a couple of days behind as I'm recording this. It is actually today, August 8th, and there is a very specific transit that I would like to discuss. The Sun in Leo is going to be trining Saturn in Aries. This is a get serious and get it done kind of day. Work, responsibility, commitments, take priority over the next couple of days. You may have to be more disciplined with your time, or you may realize, I can't screw around right now. I can't push this responsibility to any other time. You have to take care of something that you have been putting off. This is a good energy for making progress, being reliable, and doing what you said that you were going to do. Basically, handle your business kind of couple of days. August 10th through the 11th, Venus is going to be opposing Neptune, but it's also going to trine Pluto. Now, this is an interesting energy because this is where love and relationships can get a little bit confusing, or any kind of communication here could be a little bit confusing, or the feelings behind that. You may really want to believe what someone is telling you. Someone could come on super strong here because of the way in which Venus is going to be trining Pluto. You may find that they're giving off a very strong energy, a lot of attention, maybe a lot of big promises. It can feel amazing in the moment, but give it time. This is the kind of astrology where you can fall in love with a situation or someone's potential instead of paying attention to what they're actually showing you. Don't assume something is forever just because it feels intense right now. This also applies to money, everybody. Be careful with impulse purchases. Some of you, you're not going to feel this in relationships. You're actually going to feel this in regards to spending your money. So be careful with that. Spending because something looks better than it actually is. That is the kind of thing you want to watch out for. August 12th, Mercury is going to be opposing Pluto. So after this Venus trine Pluto situation, we now come into very interesting communication. Mercury is also going to be trining Neptune at the same time. What does all of this mean? Well, it means that conversations can get intense. People may be more blunt. They're going to be maybe more aggressive. You could feel like you are in the hot seat a little bit, or maybe you are willing to say the thing you have been holding back. There could be something like that, or somebody spits out sort of like a question you didn't realize they would ever be asking you this. You could also become very obsessed with figuring something out. Let's say that you are focusing on a specific relationship or a situation. You could be like, I'm going to go back and read read old messages. You're overthinking someone's wording because it pops into your head. Maybe you're trying to find out what's really going on, but there is another side to this. Your imagination and your intuition can be incredibly strong here. And I want you to pay attention to that. You could have like really vivid dreams, an amazing idea, or suddenly understand something that you've been trying to figure out, but it's for you versus communicating that outwards. I want you to pay attention to this energy because use this intensity to kind of create instead of obsess. That would be my biggest advice here. August 12th, Mars enters Cancer. Well, my friends, what can I say when Mars enters Cancer? This is messy. Messy with a lot of S's and a lot of Y's, okay? People are going to be much more emotionally reactive. Things get taken personally, family issues can come up, old feelings can come back, and instead of saying, I'm angry about this, people may get moody about it first, or they get passive aggressive. If I could say that there is a Mars placement that is passive aggressive, my number one pick would be Mars in Cancer. This is kind of like a passive aggressive with notes of pettiness. There is another type of passive aggressive, which is Mars in Libra, but it's more like it follows a mic drop. There is like a purpose behind it. With Mars in Cancer, the passive aggressiveness is on the petty side because it remembers the shit that you did, like, I don't know, 5 hours ago, you said something, or 5 years ago, you said something, 5 weeks ago, you said something, and it comes back and you're like, I'm going to throw that back into this person's face. This is exactly what this kind of energy can be. This can also make us extremely protective of the people and the things that we care about. Just remember this, not every feeling requires a reaction. Very hard to do. I'm not gonna lie, this is gonna be very, very hard to do. Okay, let's move on. August 12th, total solar eclipse in Leo. Okay, this is going to be a big one. It's very interesting because I feel like following this solar eclipse for the next 8 months, some of the eclipses, their energy is shorter, but this one is going to be particularly 8 months. Okay, the way that I'm reading the astrology, it's going to be around confidence, visibility, creativity, and being seen. That is a very big new subject on the horizon. You will see more people that will come out in more confident ways, more visible ways, more creative ways, or creativities that you haven't maybe necessarily seen around you. And the notes of being seen, like, that is going to be huge. People are going to step into a new role, including yourself. You maybe get attention that you weren't expecting. Now, the people that get the attention that they were not expecting, I just want to say, are anybody who's got strong fire sign placements or anybody who's got strong cardinal placements. I don't necessarily see that just like all the fixed signs or anything like that. Like, it's particularly fire, particularly cardinal energy as well. This is where, like, a lot of the heavier placements on the side, they decide that they're ready to put themselves out there. This is the kind of energy that we're going to be seeing unfold, or they realize that they're done looking for somebody else's approval. They're just going to go for it. This is something that is basically going to come up, but not like on this particular day. It's more in the long term. So something about how you see yourself is going to change. And because it's an eclipse, the change is going to happen faster than what you expected. Maybe you say to yourself, this is going to take years. It's not going to take years. Like, if you will look back 8 months from now, after you listen to this podcast, you're going to say to yourself, holy shit, I changed. August 15th, Mercury is going to be conjunct Jupiter. This is one of the nicer moments of the month. This basically means good news, or helpful conversations, big ideas. But at the very minimum, there's optimism in the air. You may hear something that makes you feel like, okay, this is actually going to work. It's also a good energy for buying, selling, negotiating, learning, teaching, making plans that will actually last for a while. The only thing to watch is over promising something. Don't say yes to 10 things because you are feeling optimistic about all 10. August 16th through the 18th, Mars in Cancer squares Neptune in Aries. This is where people can crash out over something they haven't fully processed. Why? This energy is irritated. This energy is tired. This energy is over emotional. This energy feels that there is a lot of great things happening, but at the same time, you're overly emotional. You haven't processed things because there hasn't been any time to process any of this. You may not completely understand why. Okay, I want you to remember this. If there is a crash out happening, you're not going to understand why the crash out is happening at that moment. You're going to understand it a couple of days later. Motivation here can also feel weird. One minute you're determined to do something, and the next minute you're like thinking, why should I do this? So there's going to be a lot of sort of back and forth. It's a little bit of a ping pong game here. And someone may say they don't really care when they absolutely care. There's another thing here with this energy, Mars in Cancer, square Neptune in Aries. This is kind of like, I don't care, but it's more on the childish side, and that person actually does care. So I want you to remember this. You could, even catch yourself doing it. So don't make huge decisions while you're angry, exhausted, emotional, or confused. Give yourself a minute. Wait until maybe a couple of days later. August 21st, Venus is going to be opposing Pluto. This one can bring up relationship insecurities. Do they like me? Why haven't they said anything? Should I reach out? That's another big one. If you have relationship questions, you're going to be in this place where you're going to say to yourself, should I reach out? And this can also be a time where some of us could feel like, am I attractive enough? I know this one is Venus related, so a part of you might just be like, I don't feel attractive enough. I don't feel like I need to glow up. I need something. I'm not feeling myself. It can be like a 24-hour period like this. You may notice yourself becoming much more aware of who has the power also in a relationship, or how much effort you're putting in compared to somebody else. And somehow the looks tie into this, confusion, doubt, kind of ties into it. Some of you will be also experiencing just relationships that will be tested somehow. And sometimes the test is simply realizing, I am doing way too much to get this person's attention. So pay attention to this energy. Really interesting. August 22nd, the sun enters Virgo. Well. Let me tell you this. Anytime the sun enters Virgo, you notice this shift right away. Things cool off instantly. The Virgo energy is so earth, so mutable earth, that we're coming down from the hot sun, right? So what happens here is that the moment that Virgo starts to transition from 0 to 1 degree, which is going to be right around the cusp of the 22nd to the 23rd, you're going to feel the cold energy of Virgo. Virgo season is a moment where our attention shifts towards getting life back in order. Whether that is going to be work, health, schedules, routines, organizations, cleaning things up. But at the very baseline, this is a preparation energy. Virgo is preparation energy because Virgo has a high purpose. So you will start to instantly notice that you're looking at your life and you are going to start to ask, which is literally every Virgo season, what's working? What's wasting my time? What needs to be fixed? And what would make my everyday life easier? Okay. these are the types of things. Now, when it comes to relationship horizon, you are going to be a lot more meticulous. You are going to be aware of the relationship dynamics a lot more. Your attention is going to be crisp. Okay, we're going from a nice Miami Beach party to a fall, crisp, cool off air. Like it's, 10 degrees outside. When you open the door, there's this cool air that hits you and it's fall. That is the energy from the sun in Virgo immediately in the first kind of like decade. So I want you to be aware of this. Just know that this is very normal. This is the Virgo energy coming in to cool us off with a very particular purpose, and that is to clean things up. August 27th, the sun in Virgo is going to be squaring Uranus in Gemini. Plans will change. People can change their minds. Schedules might get moved around. Someone suddenly decides they don't want to cooperate or compromise at all. And everybody can become a little bit more stubborn about doing things their own way. The best thing you can do with this transit is leave room for plans to change. So if you're someone who's very attached to doing things a certain way, and boy, I can tell you that can be me in certain aspects of life because I have my moon in Taurus. So for all of you who have like a moon in a fixed, sign like myself, just leave room for plans to change. Try to laugh it off when it happens. No, it is not easy, but it makes your life easier for sure. If you can get yourself in your mindset to that place, don't make unexpected change harder than it needs to be. That's my advice here. And then finally, we finish off the same day with a lunar eclipse in Pisces at 4 degrees. And to me, because this is a lower degree lunar eclipse, one of the things that I think that you will notice here is that this eclipse highlights the Pisces and Virgo area of your chart, and it is about the details versus the bigger picture. You will internally process something that you thought was really important, and you may suddenly know now in your heart that these details do not matter moving forward. It might even be just one small detail that you ignored that becomes much more important than you realized. However, it is about the bigger picture, and it is about letting those details go at the end of the day. You could be in a place where you realized, wow, in this area of my life, I have been really overthinking it. I have been overworking. I have been trying to control something that needs a different approach. And you might actually be in the era of the different approach. But this is where the 4 degree Pisces really falls in all of our chart. It is about that detail that constantly maybe keeps us in the loop of a breakdown, and you are able to look at it from a different point of view now and realize you don't have to do it that way. So it becomes clear. I don't think that this lunar eclipse in Pisces is going to be huge. I just think it's going to be an internal processing, and it's going to be a really nice moment to realize that you've grown in a situation. August 31st, last day Mars squares Saturn. And oh boy, by the end of August, some of us are going to feel gassed. I'm not going to lie, okay? Some of us are going to feel gassed probably for about 72 hours. Mars always wants to move forward. It is always taking a look at action. Saturn puts up the boundary. Saturn puts up the wall. So you could hit a delay. You could hit a moment where you're like, I need to pause. I need to stop. You could also run into a situation where you hear a no based on some kind of a rule. Maybe you reach a limit, or you're reaching somebody else's limit, okay? You could be on the receiving end of that. Realize that you may have also reached your own limit in this. This is going to be important, okay, guys? Because of the way that the month is moving, it's like you're going to be like gassed, okay? You're going to be like, yeah, I need to not force this right now. If something isn't moving, figure out what needs to change before you push forward or you push harder. Sometimes the answer isn't try harder. Sometimes it's just not today. Okay. Another day, but not today. All right, friends, I am happy that you made it up until here. We are going to dive into predictions for all 12 signs because there's so much always going on in astrology. I love actually pulling tarot cards for this section. For astrology predictions, like I said, I go individually for each sign, what I think you need to focus on my Instagram and on TikTok. So definitely follow me there if you're kind of wanting to follow the astrology transits a little bit more. So for the monthly predictions, like the astrology for the month, I love pulling tarot. So that's what we're going to do. So let's start with Aries. Aries, I pulled the Queen of Cups for you. What can you expect this month? You're more emotionally aware this month. Trust your gut about a person or a situation. You're picking up on something correctly. Now, in relationships, someone becomes softer or more emotionally open with you. Expect a vulnerable conversation or someone finally showing you how much they care. What a beautiful card for this month. For all the Tauruses out there, I pulled the Knight of Wands. Expect a sudden burst of motivation this month. I think that this is going to be pleasantly surprising you. You're ready to move, travel, start something, or finally go after something that you want. And in relationships, someone comes in hot and fast. Lots of chemistry and attention, but don't assume excitement automatically means commitment. Keep this in mind. Gemini, you are taking control. Expect a decision that requires you to set firm boundaries, make a plan, or take the lead because I pulled the Emperor card for you. So that is a big card, okay? You are going to be feeling like you are in control again this month. I know many of you have been going through a lot of changes recently, so this is a really great card to let me know that you guys are going to be in a place where not only will you be making these decisions, but your boundaries will really matter and you'll be in a place where you will be able to make them easier. In relationships, someone wants clarity and commitment. A relationship may become more defined or you'll decide exactly what you will want out of this relationship and what you will not accept. Like that's going to be crystal clear this month. Cancer this month, pick your battles, okay? You have the Five of Swords. You may realize something simply isn't worth your time, energy, or the need to prove your point. Keep your attention on the big goal. Try not to get caught up with the little things right now because there's going to be a lot of little things that are going to pull you into many different directions. So pick your battles, pick them wisely because not everything needs your attention. In relationship, watch for arguments, mixed motives. You want to really pay attention to this. Because of this Mars-Neptune situation that we've got going on, there's so much like messy Mars energy. So pay attention to the motives or pay attention to someone who always needs to win. That's like another thing that comes up here. Don't get pulled into unnecessary drama. Keep your eye on the big goal, and this month is going to work out for you beautifully. Leo, when I tell you, when I pulled the Death card for you, I was like, wow, this chapter this month, you're ready for it. And you're ready for something to be also completely different. I think a lot of you have been going through a lot of relationship wandering, doubt, and turmoil. Expect a major reset in how you see yourself and what you want next. I think that by the time you get to the end of this month, you're going to be crystal clear on what is coming next in your life. As far as relationships, relationship patterns are changing. They're continuing to change. And I want to remind you of something. Venus is still going to retrograde. So give yourself time with relationships because you're not going to actually know where you stand until the end of November. Old dynamics can't continue the same way, but either way, it is going to continue to transform when it comes to relationships and how you're going to move on from them, maybe with the person or maybe without. Okay. If there is something like that in friendships and business partnerships, give yourself a little bit of time. The Knight of Swords came out for all the Virgos. I am not surprised at all. Things have been moving fast again, but this time they're going to move even faster. Expect sudden news, quick decisions, situations that requires you to act without overthinking. You just got to lead into the energy this month. I think a lot of you have been in a limbo state. Well, that's over. You are not going to be in limbo state anymore. This Knight of Swords is going to be a pleasant surprise, but at the same time, like, you don't have time to overthink anything. And when it comes to relationships, someone may come straight at you with something that they need to say. And in that moment, expect a direct and blunt and honest conversation, but you will not be caught off guard. You will know exactly what this person is doing. I need you to remember that the reason this person is coming at you is because you are moving fast again in life. And anytime that Virgos start to move faster in life, this is the kind of thing that comes at them where somebody is like, oh, like I have a problem and this and that is going on. And I just want to say, by you dealing with this situation straight on, which you will, what they don't expect is for you to cut them off. Yeah. So more to say on that later, but I just want to say that this will be great validation for you that you are in an awesome new place. So keep moving forward, Virgo. Your energy is so sensitive this month, Libra. You have the Five of Swords. So your energy and where you spend your energy is going to be more important than ever. Why? Because people are going to be playing games, okay? There's a lot of playing games kind of energy. You want to make sure that the energy that you spend deserves actually your participation. And then there's some things where you don't have the time. You're going to have to walk away and you may actually have to think about the future. That is what the Five of Swords here is speaking to for you specifically. In relationships, you will find that people are going to be more on the defensive side. And the reason they're on the defensive side is because of all the stuff, like all the shit that they're going through. So don't fight with that energy. Don't fight for the last word. Pay attention to how someone behaves during conflict. And a lot of you are going to realize that you actually have compassion for what that person is going through. But at the same time, don't take shit, okay? That's the energy. Okay, Libra, straightforward. Scorpio, we pulled the Eight of Swords. So that means there is more than one option, okay? There's more than one option that you think. If I were to tell you that you've had more options probably like a couple of weeks ago, you would have said, absolutely not. I'm not doing that. Not this option. That's not what's happening this month. You may feel stuck in some aspects, but you also have more than one option and you didn't experience that or you didn't think that you would. A situation starts changing once you stop assuming there's only one way forward. Very important now. In relationships, overthinking could have you questioning where you stand with certain people. Don't fill in the blanks for them. Ask, observe, and get the facts first. Sagittarius, things just keep getting better for you. Like, I am genuinely happy for all the Sagittariuses out there. I absolutely love you guys. I pulled the King of Pentacles. This made me happy. Money, work, and stability improves this month, and like tremendously. Expect something that makes you feel more secure or puts you into an even stronger financial situation. How beautiful is that? Now, when it comes to relationship aspects, someone shows you their serious side through their consistency and through their actions. not their big words. And this is going to catch your attention a lot. This person is stable, dependable, and this is also relationship energy. And I think a lot of you are going to just be very happy that you're observing this. There's going to be a lot of drama around you too, but it's not really connected to you. So I think that this other energy is going to just show you how amazing things are going for you. And I think that this month is just putting that kind of a stability and that kind of a fire and love into your relationship and then also into your life. Capricorn, we pulled the Temperance card. Things start falling into place without you forcing them in some weird way this month. It's going in like zigzags. It's not going in a straight line, whatever it is that is happening. So it falls into place though. Expect better balance, timing, and a situation that finally becomes easier to manage in your life. And then when it comes to relationships, you got to find the middle ground. Okay, this month is really asking you to think about reconciliation with people, a calmer conversation, a compromising Capricorn. I know some people don't deserve it, but this can bring things back into a place where people are on the same page, and you will find that the people across the table will also compromise with you. Wow, Aquarius, I did not expect to pull the Seven of Swords. Immediately, the thing that popped into my head here is that you need to move quietly, or something in your life is moving quietly in a way that is going to become awesome. But the most important thing is that not everyone needs to know your plans yet. You have to be strategic about what you share and who you share it with. And when it comes to relationships, something may be left unsaid, and that's okay this month. Pay attention to inconsistencies with people and trust actions over explanations. It's going to tell you a lot. Wait before you actually have a conversation with people. Pisces, when I pulled this card, the Chariot, I was like, whoa, we love this card. Things start moving forward in a way this month that I think are going to surprise you in a way. Expect, though, with this forward movement, progress and a win around situations that you have been determined to make them happen. You need this right now. Many of you have been going through quite the turmoil in relationships, especially. So I think that this is going to give you faith in a way back, that not that you lost it, but there is a part of you that had to really lean into it. This month, it's going to be naturally there again because of the wins. When it comes to relationships, well, relationships are going somewhere right now, specifically with people that want to make a move together with you or close a distance that they have with you. Or it can be that someone is finally making their intentions clear, or they become clear about their intentions. And so then you welcome this energy. And the reason you welcome this energy is because you feel like, okay, this is what I needed in this relationship in order for me to move forward with them. So there's a little bit of a nostalgia in your relationship dynamics as well that I think is kind of unexpected. Again, an unexpected kind of feeling in the air overall with things that are happening. But this nostalgia isn't necessarily from the past either. It's just an energy, almost like a deja vu moment that you're remembering. And this is going to be your clue that relationships are really truly growing and changing, and some relationships really deserve this forward movement with you, and that they're going somewhere else now. A new chapter is what I'm trying to explain. This new chapter is going to come with a lot of beautiful moments, but I think the biggest thing that you need to pay attention to is to not have fear that things are changing. What I'm getting from this is that a lot of you are actually fearful that things are changing, but don't be fearful, because it is just going to be a beautiful time. And sometimes change can be a little bit weird at first, or it can bring up fears that we are not holding on to the same kind of dynamics. But what if it becomes even bigger and better and bolder, What if there's more feelings of like joy and happiness and closeness and even peace? So that's what I'm seeing for you, Pisces. Well, friends, we all did it in under an hour. I am actually surprised because when I first took a look at this astrology and I was writing everything out, I thought to myself, this is going to be like an hour-long podcast, and it wasn't. I am pleasantly surprised. So thank you so much for being here. Thank you for listening. Thank you to all the new listeners and also all the current listeners. I appreciate you guys. We have a really cool community here. You can always reach me on my Instagram or my TikTok. You can always DM me there. You can also go onto my website and contact me via my website. Thank you again for being here, and I will see you guys in the next episode.